Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 21 to the end. Etam bhukva swargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्नाः गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्याः चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्य विधिपूर्वकम् अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्तेनातश्च्यवन्ति ते यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्याः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रम् पुष्पम् फलम् तोयम् यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवम् मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि तमोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि तेषु चाप्यहम् अपि चेत् सुदुराचारः भजते मामनन्यभाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यक् व्यवसितो हि सः क्षिप्तं भवति धर्मात्मा शश्वच्छान्तिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति मां हि पार्थव्यपाश्रित्य पापयोनयः धियो वैश्याः तथा शूद्राः ते यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणाः पुण्याः भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा अनित्यमसुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम् मन्मना मम भक्तः मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामैवैष्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायणः
सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। Question. Subramanian. In verse 47 of second chapter, Krishna refers to law of causation. Karta has a choice over his actions. In verse 5 of 6th chapter, Krishna says that man has to raise himself by his own self. Man is himself a friend and foe. In verse 22 of 9th chapter, Krishna says, I provide gain and security. Those who think of me alone and are ever devoted. Request your advice, clarification. What is to be clarified? So clear. Hey, in verse 47 of second chapter, there he says your adhikara is in action. Karmanyeva adhikaraste, very popular verse. Also. And the fifth verse of the sixth chapter is Uddharet Atmanatman. Atmanam Navasakye. This is the verse he is referring to. There he says you have to raise yourself by yourself. You have to work, man, he says. Now he says in the 9th chapter, verse 22nd, I give yoga and kshema. But what he has conveniently ignored is the first line. Right? Ananyas chintayanto mam. Says. Right. You have to practice that ananya chinta. When you practice that ananya chinta, first doubt the initial student will get when he is reading all this, he is going to have the doubt. Like when I said I wanted to study Vedanta, 17 people came to my house. Interrogation. 17 fellows. They're there one day. Right. All they are asking is, who are you? What you will do for food? That's their only concern. See, that's the first problem, no, for all of us. Who will provide you? Okay, you say that you are going to study this, you are going to do this. And at that time, I did not say, this is the only thing I am going to do in my life. I said, I study for 3 years and come back. Like you go to any university. You go study and come back. At that time, I didn't have the idea of taking it full-time life and all those things. I just wanted to study, I studied. That's all. This is the only subject which I could study also. Other subjects I could not study. By default, I had to take this as a subject. I don't know whether to edit this or this is the problem. Sometimes you forget you are recording. The truth be spoken at least once in life. Okay. I did not take up to study of Vedanta because I was qualified to study Vedanta. Disqualified to study anything else. Therefore, Vedanta you do. That's all. By negation, assertion. At that time, which is there, so worried. Now, Krishna in 22nd, the 9th chapter, he says, what you have to do is what? Ananya Chitta. You don't think of anything else, no other engagement. All that you have to do is what? Keep worshipping me. Right. Then obvious question will come to anyone's mind is then what the fellow will do for life? Now, who is going to take care? My God. I have to take care. Suppose if somebody else were to be studying, the fellow is looking at the next fellow, each other, two fellows will be reading this. First, let's say, this fellow will look at that guy, says, my God, if this fellow becomes Ananya Chitta, then maintaining him is my responsibility. Suppose if I become Ananya Chitta, I am not sure whether that fellow will take care of me. You see the problem here. Either case, it is a tragedy here. To which Krishna says, both of you don't worry, I will take care. Yoga Kshevam, I will give it. You don't worry. No one in the society had to worry about that person. No one, none of the relatives had to worry about that fellow. No friends had to worry about him. No family has to worry about that person. Whose responsibility? He says, I take up that responsibility of Yoga Kshema. Whatever has to be provided to you shall be provided by me. Through someone. That's about it. Not that by provided to me, that doesn't mean personally Mr. Krishna will come and hand over a check. That also there has to be a bank. Right? It's not like that case. It will be happening by me through someone. Everyone else will be playing the role of a courier. Delivery boy. Everyone will come and deliver. Everything will be sent by him. You don't have to worry about it. You will get it. You will be provided. There's no need to have a second thought. I have seen it myself. If I give personal examples, it will look like inspiration, but it will lead to wrong ideas. That's why we don't give any personal examples for these things. Why I took to study Vedanta, personal example can be given. That's not a big difficulty. These things cannot be given. That is why we have the authority texts, like the Itihasas, Puranas. Suddenly we switch over to old stories. So most of us will get put off. When we do that, the student will say, sir, these things happened those days. Will it happen today? It will happen today also. It is happening even today. But you must have the courage to plunge in. So, answering to the question, verse 47, 47, no? That's the verse, no? That is that Karmanyeva Digaraste Mahaphaleksha Tadacha. And fifth verse, he is referring to what you have to do. Where is your strength? Where is your responsibility? Your responsibility gets over. And in these two verses, he is referring to a general idea. Right? In verse 22 of the 9th chapter, he comes to a specific one. Right? You can take the verse to the general also. General in the sense, if you want to achieve in the world, what do you have to do? If you want to grow, if you want to build your muscle, what do you have to do? You can't delegate, no? Can you? Business also you can delegate. You can appoint one CEO. He will do the business. You don't have to. What about building your muscle? You can't engage another fellow and say, I have engaged 4 people, sir. One fellow is doing yoga, one fellow is going aerobics, one fellow is going for jogging, one fellow is going for gym. So, all aspects are taken care of. They will do all the exercises and I will get. Not possible. See, once it comes to the body itself, you have to do the work. No one else can do. You can't find a alternative, proxy. Proxy not possible. You have to do it all by yourself. And because you have to do all by yourself, that doesn't mean you can have the authority over the health. Exercise is in your hand, but health is not in your hand. Your adhikara is where? To do exercise. Your adhikara is to engage in business. Profit or loss is not in your hands. You can make an investment. Suddenly a news comes in, what is that? What is the virus name? So what is that? Omicron variant. Omicron variant of coronavirus has stuck in South Africa. Your investment goes push here. Right? Some ridiculous amount they are saying. 6 lakh crores or something is a loss in the stocks. The 6 lakh crores is a loss. And how many fellows got infected? Where? Not here. Somewhere. So where is your adhikara? But the problem is what? The moment you make an investment, immediately you wanted to decide the profit also. To which, in the first, he said, no, put an effort. If you have to grow, only you have to work. If you work in the direction of growth, you are a friend to yourself. You are doing good to yourself. If not, you are being bad to yourself. Chapter 6, verse 5. In chapter 9, he is not talking about general. He is talking about a specific person. So, verse 47 and verse 5. Those two verses gives a general one which can be applied to any field, to anyone. But when it comes to verse 22 of chapter 9, is not for everyone. You see, he is not taking the responsibility of granting yoga kshema to everybody. He says, no, I take the responsibility of yoga kshema granting only to the person who says, I am not going to engage myself in taking care of myself. Taking care of myself in the sense, then what are you going to do? You're not going to become a beggar, remember. It's not that he is becoming lazy, simply wanting to. Then he has already told that person in chapter 3 as the one who eats without producing is a thief. Stena eva saha, said. That is dismissed already. So that is also not possible. So what is the condition, sir? Condition is you should be single-pointedly working with reference to realization. If you are working like that, then he says there is a possibility for me. Then it is my responsibility, is what he says in verse 22. The moment you drop the anxiety for your future, your well-being, he says, I'll take care. The moment you take charge and say, I'm going to First, this is the argument everybody has. First, let me take care of certain things. Whatever the certain things are. Some problem here, some problem there, something here, something there, something with reference to whatever you have to do. Let me settle all those things. After that, I am fully available for God. Then I am ready. Anytime he can come and call me, I am willing to go with him. He has to send invitation. The local corporator will not invite you. And this fellow sits and they keep saying, I am ready. Anytime he calls, I go. The call will come from whom is a point. Will Narayana call you or Yama call you is a point. Invitation will come for sure. From whom the invitation you are going to receive is the difference. Yes, don't worry. I'll take care. Not only that, I will give you. I'll ensure that will be with you also. Not only providing things, preservation also. Provisions and preservation, both were taken care of by me. So he says, let us have a clear division of labor. What is the division of labor? You take care of only one job. What? Think of me. Worship me. I do 2 jobs. You do 1 job. I do 2 jobs. He's not even asking you to do anything here. Ananya Chinta only, he says. What is your problem? Suppose Ananya Yajna, if he says, finished. Imagine you have to perform Yajna. All the time you have to be sitting in front of Yajna. Is it possible? You feel sleep also, no? You get sleep. You have to go out for nature call. You get tired. So many problems are there when it comes to all these things. He says, nothing. All that I am asking is what? Ananya Chinta only. Thinking, what is your problem? Huh? There is no investment. Think no. But then we say, that is not possible. It's easy for me to write a check and give you. For all of us, that's much easier. They'll write a check. Depends on how many zeros you are going to put. That's all. It doesn't make any difference. Put on 1 more zero, 1 more zero, 1 more zero. That's it. But ask that man to sit and think of God as a challenge. Forget about it. That's why I started. It's a challenge. Let me see, can I meditate? Think of nothing else. Just chant that mantra and stay with it. Take it as a challenge. No other thought. Nothing else. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. You go for a walk. Like perfect thing that comes. Walking. Running, don't try. Doesn't sink well. With walking, it sinks very well. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. Goes, tuck, tuck, tuck. Very nicely it sinks. Try. 1 round. We try. Not possible. Whether we ask, Yoga Kshema Mahamyam, Krishna only said, will give. To who he will give, nobody asks. So conveniently, he ignores that. He says, he will give, no. He will give, provided you do your part. So there it is, general declaration, general truth. Its reference is everyone. Here it is a specific reference. Reference is that Nishkama Bhakta. Right? The one who is seeking only moksha. He is not interested in dharma, artha, kama. He is not interested in any one of that. Is there justice in the world? He doesn't care. Because this man is worrying whether the world itself is there or not. That is his worry. Right? To him you go and say, is there justice in the world? Yeah, I'm sorry, boss. I can't understand. If you live like that, there will be justice in your life. There will be artha in your life. There will be kama in your life. Everything will be taken care of. You don't have to worry about it. And not only everything will be provided to you, everything will be preserved intact. If you try to acquire things and then try to preserve it, it shall be snatched away from you. That's a law of life. No point in getting angry with me. Yes. That's what he says in Bhagavad Gita. Don't get angry with me. Radha, brother, don't get angry with me. Dear, don't get angry with me. Why? You strive to acquire something, you will not be able to acquire. By chance, if it appears to have been acquired by you, it will be snatched away from you. This is a law. I don't want to give examples for these things because it is so harsh. You see, it's so harsh to see. That's why traditionally they say it's a traditional belief here. Wealth doesn't stay with a family more than 3 generations. It will not. It's a law. Why? Why that is a law? 3 generations means what? How many years? What is the current age? This one, anybody knows? One generation means how many years?
30 years.
When I was born, then he grows, gets married, next comes. So he grows and matures. About 20 years, 25 years. Say 3 generations means what? 75 years. Maximum. That's maximum. You see, doesn't mean 75 years is guaranteed. 75 is not guaranteed. Remember, when I thought like that first. I don't know about you people, but at least I thought, 75 years guaranteed, by then I would have been dead. It's not my problem then. See, it will not stay. Why? And you can see it. Statistically, you can see. 2000 or 1990 or 1980, Fortune 500 companies. Take the list and see today, where are they? We are in 21. 1980, take Fortune 500 companies, and 1981 you can take to 2001 now, 2021 now. You see, second generation itself not there. I'm talking about what? I'm talking about Fortune 500. Such a size, Many of them don't even exist now. One company was ruling a country called East India Company. You remember? They are ruling a country. Company was ruling a country. Where is the company now? The history books only you have. What should be the size of that company today? Imagine. Imagine, no, what was the size then? Even if they would have just survived, forget about growing and all those things, just exist. Today, what would be the value of that? Where are they? Gone. Every 5 years, we are experiencing recession. Recession. Why? If you strive to acquire, remember, it shall be snatched away from you. If you inherit it and say that I am going to preserve it, it shall be snatched away from you. No choice. Then how to make it permanent, sir? Is it ever possible to make it permanent? Yes. What do you have to do for that? Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Mam is the catch there. That is the one. Chintayantaha Mam. Mam Chintayanta. That has to be how? Ananya. Ananya. Mam Chintayanta. Ananya. Is how you have to function in life. If you function in life like that, then he takes the responsibility of giving. Once he takes the responsibility, what is the problem? Imagine he takes this. I'll take care. If he is sending his security guards, what can you be worried about in life after? That's the confidence he gives. But the condition is very simple. Puts a very simple condition. All you have to do is what? Chinta only. Nothing else you have to do. Very, very simple exercise. Says he is demanding nothing much. Later on, he is going to demand something else also. You will see that even ridiculous. Verse 22. One who is not having that anxiety to develop. So that is why we say you must have that Shraddha. Now all of us have faith in God. Everybody says that. Do you have belief in God? Ask them. Yes, of course I have. Now in our tradition, we don't call a person to be an atheist or a theist. We have a very different definition here for an atheist and a theist. Generally, theist means one who believes in God. And atheist is one who doesn't believe in God. Here, we don't call that. Here, the one who believes in the Vedas, they're called theist. The one who doesn't believe in the Vedas, they're called atheist. Very weird. See, suddenly the whole thing changes. Why? Because here their argument is fascinating, far more practical. If you say, I believe in the doctor, means you must believe in his medicine, correct? When he gives a prescription, you must believe in that. You must believe in his diagnosis. You must believe in his medication. Whatever he says, you must believe in his words. Believe in God means believing in his words. You can't say, I trust you, but not your words. Whatever you say, I will not trust. Your teachings, I don't follow. I don't believe in your teachings. But I believe you. You are a great man. You are an extraordinary one. You are God. You are universe. You are the Lord. But I don't believe in your teaching. What sort of a trust is that? Therefore, the criteria here these people said is the one who believes in the Vedas. What is that? Teachings, the words of the Lord. Teachings. If you are not going to be following the teachings of the Shastras, right? And then to claim that I am believer of God, you are just trying to fool yourself. And you are attempting to fool God. And Ram Tirtha warns you. Says, don't try to throw dust in the eyes of gods, for you shall be blinded. And the Guru says, why? For you are God. And the Guru asked him, why? Is it so? Because you are that God, man. Don't try that. That's what we all attempt. Our attempt has been like that. Which is, I grant you, man, don't worry. What a powerful verse, That's why it is treated as the central verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Even though, strictly speaking, it is not, slightly off-center. But in terms of idea, you can't get anything better than this. Ananya Shintayanto, Echana Pravyupasa. Esham Vidyabhi Yuktanam Yoga Kshemam Vahamya. One half class is enough. Twenty-three.
Ekanya devata bhaktaha Eshadhayanvitaha Devi mameva kaunteya Yajantya vidhi purvakam Ekanya devata bhaktaha Yajante shadhayanvitaha Devi mameva kaunteya Yajantya vidhi purvakam.
Even those devotees who endowed with Shraddha, faith, worship other gods, they also worship me alone, O Kaunteya, though contrary to traditional practice. Now again, what he is doing is he is shifting from Niskama Bhaktas to Sakama Bhaktas. Now he is moving to the Bhaktas who are not having that understanding. What understanding? Verse 22. If you understand verse 22, what you will do? Ananya Chinta, you will start. Suppose if that person is not understanding that, what is his devotion will be? So devotion with understanding, devotion without understanding. Now he is explaining what is that nature, what is that devotion of those people who are ignorant and the consequence of that devotion. Last verse he gave what is the perfect devotion and the consequence of that. What is the effect? Now he is moving to same sequence only, but next idea he is giving here is 23, 24, 25. He talks. Then again he goes back to Nishkama Bhakta. Again, he moves back to the person. That is how he is just moving around. See, we are studying it once a week. Therefore, we miss the flow. If you read that full topic, that's the advantage of, it's a fascinating work from Swamiji's research. Krishna, when he spoke, he just spoke. Vyasa, in his intelligence, he divided that lecture of Krishna, the teachings of Krishna, into different adhyayas, chapters, and gave a title to the chapter. Krishna, when Krishna was speaking, there is no adhyaya and all that. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga, there is no. You see, these things were provided by Vyasa to us. During Vyasa's period, just the chapter title is sufficient enough for the people subsequently to understand the entire chapter. Now our intelligence has dropped further. So inside the chapter also we need to seek assistance to understand the flow of thoughts. How this chapter is structured. What is discussed in the chapter. For that is the work here. It says from verse 20 to 28. What is the topic here? You attain what you are seeking. What you are seeking will vary. What you will attain also vary. Same thing he gives here. Now he is giving two things. One, people with Nishkama Bhakta means having devotion with understanding. Right? Then Sakama Bhaktas were the ones who don't have that understanding, but they have Bhakti is there. Bhakti here you take it as what? Sincerity. They are sincere, but there is no understanding. There is no buddhi. So now again in verse 23, 24 and 25, Krishna talks about all of us. Now again, 22 is not about us. 22 is talking about somebody. Now he is talking about us. Even those devotees endowed with Shraddha. I have that faith, sir. Faith, worship other gods. They don't worship me, they worship other gods. What those fellows don't understand, even though they worship other gods, they also worship me alone. Right? Finally, it goes to him only. Yes. Though, O Kaunteya, that practice is contrary to traditional practice. Avidhi Purvaka. That worship, that bhakti, that form of worshipping is not the right one. Because for all of us, we have this doubt. That is Brahman superior or Indra superior? Yaru bosses? Okay, not too much. You don't understand all that. Okay? Go to Shiva temple. Right? Just stand and pick up any one. Or strike a balance of few people. Pick up anyone who looks highly devoted. Right? They will go to, first they will see Ganesha, and then they will go to Shivan Sannidhi. The Santam Santorium, they will do puja there and they will do their prayers, and then they will come out and you see that fellow walking towards Navagraha. Right? The devotion you will see in his eyes with reference to Navagraha Sannidhi vis-a-vis Shiva side. There you see more. I have an access to Shiva means what you should do with this fellow. On the way, when you are going out, you say what? Hi, and go. Imagine you are having when I come here, a house, there's a security. Right? There's a security fellow sitting there. Or the receptionist. She's there. Right? First time when I walked in, what did she say? Hey, where are you going? Come. Put the signature. What's your name? Where's your horoscope? And give me your Aadhaar card. This one, that one. 101 questions she was asking. Right? The moment she got to know that I have a personal access to her boss, after that, what she was doing? Forget about what she is doing. What I have to do with her. Even if I go to her for signature, no, sir, go. They are waiting for you. They'll treat. Right? That doesn't mean if you are a refined, cultured person, what you should do. You go there and ask, okay, well, if she says, no, you go, doesn't matter, you go. When you're going out also, what are you supposed to do? When you walk in, you say hi. When you walk out, you say bye. And go. That is all you have to do there. Now there hasn't it. The fellows go there and go 9 rounds. Shiva gets 1 round. Navagraha, they get 9 rounds circling. And then in some temples, they have. I have seen that. In Kabaleshwara temple, I used to observe. This is the fun I used to have. Shivan Sannidhi, when they go in the Kabaleshwara temple, in Kabaleshwara temple, they have 2. One is Navagraha is there. Separately, Shanishwara also is there. Okay, that fellow gets dual. 1 round when they go there, and then Shanishwara, they do 3 rounds. You can't stop with 1 round. I said, what about doing the entire temple rounder? Inside that Shiva one. And my observation was at least about 4 years. Minimum. I'm deleting all the other days, where we didn't go on all those things. Lived for about 10 years or so. So in that, minimum I would have visited the temple for 4 years. Amazing to see. And that is what is saying. Who is superior? Now for all of us, who is important? The manager important or the clerk important? The one who doesn't understand the power of that manager believes the clerk is the most important person in the office. Which he says no. You get it. Anya Devata. Other things, other people. And this Devata, remember, these Devas are superior beings, but they are also individuals only. They are also jivas only. Remember, Indra doesn't mean a person. We all believe Indra means a person. Indra means a post, Prime Minister. When you say Prime Minister, today he is a Prime Minister. Narendra Modi is a Prime Minister today. In 2010, you would have said, who is the Prime Minister? Who is it? 2010, right? Manmohan Singh. Manmohan Singh, I forgot. Manmohan Singh is the Prime Minister. Mr. Manmohan Singh is totally different from Prime Minister. Mr. Narendra Modi is different from the Prime Minister. But when you see him today, you address him as what? Joe Biden, when you see, you address him as Mr. President. Hi, Joe. You can't say that. You see, that's not allowed. Same way, Indra, if you say, that is a post, remember, not a person. Right? They are also jivas only. Now, Deva, we think, Devas means they are nothing. They are also jivas. Only thing is what? They have superior powers. That's about it. There are people with certain powers, isn't it? Like the corporator has a power. MLA has a power. Minister has a power. MP has a power. Then central minister has a power. Then prime minister has a power. And president has a power. President's wife has more power. Each one have got their own powers. See, similarly, these devas were just powers manifested. Remember, the manifested powers were personified as persons. That's called the devas. Now, people started worshipping them as though they are people. See, that's what he is saying. He says, even though they are worshipping me, they are actually worshipping them, they are worshipping me only. Means that devas means it's just my power, one facet of my power manifested in this manner. The power of Agni, which is in me, manifesting. The heat is manifesting as Agni Bhagavan. That's it. The power of me is manifesting in a particular way. This is one angle. Right? Another angle we see those devas to be the intermediary goals that you can have. Now, wherever you are, when you are wanting to reach to the self, you pass through certain things, you see. So that intermediary stages that you can achieve, that you would reach, those goals or those positions were referred as the devas. That's why we say Hinduism is not a polytheistic religion. People take it to be a polytheistic because these people worship so many gods. There's not many gods here. There is only one God. There is no other God. But the manifestations of that God is many. Central government is one, isn't it? State government is one. Government is only one. But that same government works, reaches out to the public, manifests itself as various departments. isn't it? Various ways in which the government reaches out. Similarly, God is one. The way in which that God is manifesting and reaching us is many. So when you go to every department, you are reaching to whom? You are reaching to the government only. You are not reaching to that particular individual, that particular post, that particular department. This understanding these people don't have. So they believe that individual himself is so powerful. So they start worshipping that without realizing it is the one who is behind it. That's what is referred here. Is this. Even those devotees who endowed with Shraddha, faith, worship other gods, they also worship me, though contrary to tradition. So which means traditional bhakti is what? Traditional bhakti is traditional bhakti says you worship the devas with the understanding that through that deva I am worshipping that Brahman alone. Through that deva I worship that Brahman. See, otherwise what will happen? Any goal that you are pursuing, what you have to understand? I am pursuing this goal so that that will take me to realization. If you pursue that, all such pursuits becomes scripturally sanctioned pursuit. Scripture says, pass. Tender is passed. Suppose if you were to be doing the other way around, what happens? They say no. It is avidhi. Vidhi means injunction, rule. This is avidhi, contrary. It is opposite of that. What is opposite of that? Taking those devas to be individual ones and final. They are the ultimate authorities and they have that individual power by themselves. On their own, they have that power. That's why it's such a complex one, I tell you. And they present in Kena Upanishad with such a casual story. And hardly people realize what is the catch in that story. See, the story most of you should know. You know, the devas, with the help of Brahman, won the battle. Right. Election won. That's all. After the victory of election, they said, we are going to have a celebration. And they are celebrating. And they forgot to invite this fellow. No invitation. It's amazing. I'm not going into that part. Okay. What is that meaning is a separate one. Okay. They didn't quite. And Brahman appeared in the form of a Yaksha. Yaksha is standing there. And these fellows saw. Then immediately, Agni Bhagavan said, I am supposed to be the all-knower. I'll go and check that fellow, who that guy is. So he goes to Brahman. Meaning Brahman means that Yaksha is going to that Yaksha. He goes very near that Yaksha, he says. And then Yaksha asks, who are you? Before, see, factually, he went to inquire, who are you? Right? Before Agni Bhagavan before he could even open his mouth, Yaksha asked, who are you? This fellow should have asked that question. Hey, that's what I am supposed to ask. Forget about who am I, tell me who are you first. Instead of that, this fellow starts answering. You know who I am? Mr. Agni. I can burn anything. Eloquent conversation. Oh, I see. And he took a blade of grass and placed it. Said, burn this. He tried all his might. Nothing happened. Defeated. Came back. Then Vayu Bhagavan went. Right. He also went very near. Same question asked by the Yaksha. Who are you? Vayu. I play around with the planets. I move everything. Can you move the blade of grass? He tried his best. Nothing happened. He also went away. Then Indra, the chief, goes with humility. Right? When he goes with humility, Yaksha disappeared. Look at the tragedy. See, these two fellows who went with arrogance, at least Yaksha had a conversation with them. Right? Indra goes with humility, Yaksha disappeared. Ran away. You see, that's what the problem is. That's what Ananya Chinta is all about. You see, whereas here you will get something happening. When you go with humility, you say that I want to know what are you? With that sincerity, when he goes, the Yaksha disappeared. And when he disappeared, what he should have done? You see, he ran away. He's scared of me, you see. You fellows are useless. I am your boss. See, the moment I went, he ran away. No, he stayed back. He stays back there to know what is it. And at that same place came Uma. Appeared. To her, Indra asked the question, who was that Yaksha? Such a redundant question to be asked. No sensible man will ever ask that question. Any logic? Because if Uma and Yaksha were to have come together, Yaksha disappeared, he can ask Uma, hey, who's that there with you? Right? Someone came and they left. I don't know who is that person. Some other fellow comes. To him you ask, who's that? If you analyze, this is called Betal. And people read that and get inspired also. Say, oh, wow. My problem was that actually. I said, this fellow must be off case to be asking that question to Uma. Who was that? You see. And Uma gave answer, much more absurd. And this fellow accepts that answer. Look at how many absurdities. First one, see, Brahman should disappear, should not interact with that fellow who is Anadhikari. With arrogance he comes. Yaksha should have disappeared when Agni came or Vayu came. Instead of that, when Indra comes with all humility, it disappears. See, who's better actually? If you stop that story there and analyze, who is better? Who's superior? And then Upanishad concludes that by saying, of all those devas, Indra is the supremost. When Indra had no interaction with Brahman, whereas Agni and Vayu had a interaction with Brahman. Who is superior? What is that? See, the devas are limited. They don't have that power to understand. And when you start moving, what will happen? When you start moving towards Brahman, first thing, with all sincerity, if you go to Brahman, what Brahman will do? Simply disappear. Right? Don't ask me whether it is a test, nothing of that sort. There's no testing and all that here, please. That's a law. It will disappear. When it disappears, what are you supposed to do? You also should not disappear. Stay back. And then what you have to do? Uma will come. Guru will come. To the Guru, what you have to do? To the Shastra, to the scriptures, you have to ask. As a replacement for Brahman, what will be coming is the scripture. You have to ask that scripture about what you have seen. Probe there. That's what he is referring here. Avidhi Purvakam. Vidhi means you have to follow what the scripture says. Probe into this. Don't worry about Yaksha. After that, forget about Yaksha. Concentrate on Uma. Interact with her. Transact with her. Now she will guide you to understand what that Yaksha is all about. Now these people completely forgot about Yaksha. Imagine Indra were to be standing there and asking the question, who are you? He never asked the question, who are you? He straight away asked the question, who was that Yaksha who was there before you? No. The most difficult thing to understand is the question. Answer is easy. Prima facie, the question is redundant to be asking to Uma because she has never seen that Yaksha. Who was that before you? Huh? How will she know? But Indra says what? Only she knows. Only she knows. Therefore, what he does? I don't care. Who are you? I don't care. Who is that Uma? I have to be concerned about what? What is the Yaksha? With that, if you go, you are Vidhi Purvakam. Without that, if you go, that is Avidhi Purvakam. You start inquiring into who are you, where are you from? Incidentally, I wanted to know, somebody was there here. You know why I came? Here, I was supposed to be in the party. It's there. What they call it? Y generation, they say, no? Gen Y. Gen Y will say, you can't be hitting on Uma. Who are you? You know why I came? We are supposed to be in the party. Would you like to join us? Finished. You start probing into Uma. You start inquiring into what is there. He says what? No. Then it is not. If you go to these devas as though they are real, out, it says. Then in verse 24, he gives very many ways people do it. Now he says they worship, how they worship, who they worship, he gives a list. 24. Right.
हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामपि जानन्ति तद्वेदान्तस्य ते हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामपि जानन्ति तद्वेदान्तस्य ते.
I am indeed the enjoyer and also the Lord of all yajnas, sacrifices. But they do not know me in reality, hence they fall. Also the Lord of all yajnas, Sarva Yajnana. Sarva Yajna means, all yajnas. What he is referring to is the traditional sense. There are two types of yajnas, Shrauta yajnas and Smarta yajnas. Shrauta yajnas means yajnas that was referred in the Vedas. Smarta yajnas means the yajnas referred in the Smritis. So there are two things. So you do that. Now, why he is referring to yajnas means what you have to understand is in Vedanta, whenever we talk about action, you are supposed to be performing action only if you are doing yajna. If it is not a yajna, it's not treated as karma. It's not treated as action. Then don't ask me what is it. You have to tell. Because you are the one doing it. According to me, if you say, sir, I'm doing this, validation will be taken here. Original note and a counterfeit note. As far as these people, originally action means yajna. If it is not a yajna action, it is not a action at all. Traditionally, it is Shrauta, Smarta, Karmas. Right? Shrauta, Smarta, Vihita, Karma. The Karma means what is given to you. What is given to you? There are two sets were given. One set is given by the Vedas, another set is given by the Smritis. Now, what is that yajna action means? Meaning of that. Philosophically, this is ritualistic. Shrauta, Smarta, Karma is a ritualistic one. Philosophically, meaning is what? Essence of that Shrauta, Smarta, Karma is sacrificial action. Action that is performed as sacrifice. Now, in your life, you have done so many things. You are busy with so many things. What will be counted is what? Original note will be taken. You can say, I have brought so much, sir. Ella counterfeit. It will not be credited to your account. It will not be accepted. There is a very good chance you can be arrested. You know that, no? If you have that old 500 rupee notes, more than 10, you can be arrested. For reference purpose, I am just keeping the 500 rupee notes. One or two, if you have, okay. If you have more than 10, means you can be arrested. Why? And today you cannot go and say, I'm going to deposit in the bank. Accept it. They will take it. And simply, well, I don't know what they do with the old notes. They burn it or what, I don't know. But it will not be, how much ever you give, it will not be accepted. So same way here, for you to claim that I am acting, I am busy, I am doing things, to qualify that, you should be performing sacrificial action. Sacrificing towards a higher cause. All that he has already explained. Chapter 3 and chapter 4 is explained. What is this yajna and all those things. It's all over there. Now he says, Sarva Yajnana means he is referring to all actions people perform towards sacrificing towards that deity. Whatever the deity they think. They perform all those things, but what those people don't understand is, I am the Bhokta. I am the enjoyer. I am the one who is the experiencer of it. Not the Devas. He is not taking, man. That Havir Bhaga is given to him, but finally, it is given to whom? Offerings are given. Finally, who is consuming it? I am the one who is consuming it. It's mine. It's not his. Cheating. I'm giving to this work. He says, no, it's not for me, it is for me now. Cheating, no. To which Vedanta fascinately provides one argument. It doesn't give answer on all that. It just asks only one question here. Answer me. Now, what do you mean by I am that Bhokta? We think we are the Bhoktas. Our understanding is Aham Karta, Aham Bhokta is what our understanding is. Suddenly this fellow says, me. Now you have to file a case. Like two fellows are claiming for the same property. Now you have to go there. File a case. Where you go and file a case, both the parties had to go to the scriptures only. Now what is the scripture? Is the judgment they have to give. The scripture gives a judgment. It gives a judgment based on one question it is asking both the parties. Right, the judge asks, judge also can ask, that. No? Judge also asks the question. It's asking, okay, tell me, who is the legitimate experiencer of the dream? Dreamer also experiences dream. Waker also claims that is my dream. Now tell me, whose dream is that? Who is the real experiencer of the dream? Dreamer or waker? Answer. You understand Bhokta. You're all with me? Suddenly he puts it, such a twist he gives here. He says, Aham Bhokta. Says, okay. Now we are, Jiva says what? Brahman, wait. Aham Bhokta. Because of the possibility of Aham Bhokta only, I am performing karma itself. If you are going to be enjoying, it's like saying, you go to office and work, salary will get credited to my account. Absolute cheating, no. Say. To which the scripture says, tell me the dream experience is legitimate for the dreamer or the waker. Who said this? Actually speaking. Actually, it is wakers, no. That's all he says. The dreamer, in his ignorance, thinks that it is his. The more wakes up, he understands what? Illa sir, it actually belongs to the waker. Then it becomes very easy. Aham Bhokta. When he says, correct sir. Case withdrawn. One question now. Like that fellow asked, the elephant mark or camel mark in the document. Like that it is. Scriptures resolves it just like that. It's so easy to reconcile. If you don't understand this, if this question is not raised by the Shastras, it's impossible for us to digest that idea of him claiming to be Bhokta, because we all believe we are the Bhoktas. We are the one who is enjoying the consequences, no? Fruit. Sir, I work, I should get the result. I do the yajna, he is enjoying all this. Yajna, no, fraud. Oh man, I am that. This is the secret. This is the secret. The secret is this. The moment you understand this, what happens? You get that objectivity. See, why all this is, the power of this understanding is, now you are claiming to be the one who is getting the consequences. He says, no, all your actions, consequences are received by me. I am the one who is receiving it. You don't have to worry about it. Keep doing, man. Karmanyevadhikaraste. Subramani, no? Is there? Subramani, you are correct. Karmanyevadhikaraste. They do not know me in reality. Good fellow. Exactly same language. He is speaking like all of us. After 40 years of marriage, wife says he doesn't understand this. The husband tells me privately, she doesn't understand my intention. They don't really understand me. Same thing Brahman also says, they do not know me. They don't understand me. Same problem. If they don't understand me, the problem is what? They don't understand all these things. Hence, so what? Hence, they fall. Shavanti means falling. They fall. They fall from what? They fall into what? You fall from and fall into, isn't it? You fall from liberation, moksha, and you fall into Mrityaloka. Ishanti says, no? Mrityaloka. You fall into that Mrityaloka. What? Go to heaven or go to hell, come back. Again, go to heaven, go to hell, come back. Or go to hell, go to heaven, come back. Keep doing, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going and coming. That fall is going to be happening. You fall from this. Whereas this is one. You fall from this one. Another aspect he is referring to is you fall into you fall. You fall from what? You fall from that inner purification. See, after all, the performance of yajnas or the performance of sacrificial actions were directed towards what? For what you perform those things is only to purify yourself. For the purification of your desires, purification of your likes and dislikes, purification of your emotions, purification of your attachments. The problem is this. See, they fall from that purification possibility. So, see, please remember, he is talking about people who are sincere and they are doing service. They are doing unselfish actions. They are performing, they are putting in all their efforts. Their efforts are all, there's no doubt about it. Okay, but there is one thing. They are not performing wrong actions. You see, they don't do wrong actions, in fact. Their efforts, their prayers, their worship is effective. There's no defect in that. Factually speaking, there's nothing wrong in that. But Does it have that potency in it? Power in it? Is it effective? No. It's weird situation. See that? It's not defect, but it's not effective also. Now what do you do with that fellow? Is he disqualified? No. Is he fully qualified? No. What do you do with him? Now, what to do? Says. That's the condition. You see, if he's neither here nor there, it's a rendangattam, we say. You know, I don't know how to translate it. That's the condition. That is what he means by fall. A fall means that fellow cannot be classified into either this or that. You can't dismiss him by saying he is not qualified and throw him out. Nor you can give him promotion because he is qualified. So what to do with that fellow in the office? Like I used to wonder, this company, they have this management principle, 80-20. Only 20% of the people are doing 80% of them. I said, then throw that 80, no? Keep only 20. Easy, no? That's why this verse comes and says, rendangattam. You can't do that. See, they are not, their spiritual efforts that they put in. This is why I said this belongs to our category. Now Arjuna, Krishna is talking about us. What is it now? It's sincere. You are putting in effort. But is there anything wrong that you are doing now? You are not doing anything wrong. You are attending my class now. Aduve wrong, nothing can be done. If you say that is the mistake, sir, then nothing can be done. Isn't it? See, you are all sincere. You have been attending the classes. You are not just, wasting your time. You are working on that. You are putting whatever, you are following whatever is being said. But then what? Does it have that potency to give you that lift? To take you to the higher? It's not having. What is that condition? That is what he is calling as fall here. Chevanti means that. It is, you are working, but it's not important. Spiritual importance is what he is referring to here. Yes, I am that enjoyer. And also, I am the Lord. I am that Prabhu. You see that? The enlivening principle. Prabhu. That's why I'm not explaining that. Prabhu we have seen already earlier. So, it's just, referring to that. I am the Supreme Lord, man, not them. I am the chief, he says. All sacrifices, I am the enjoyer. You lost because you start getting into the belief of the Kartrutva and Bhoktrutva buddhi. You are lost the self, lost that supreme reality. The truth is missed. You lose sight of it. Why? Because of that. See you in the next class.